I was once again a guest. I actually asked if I could be tested. They said that they couldn't do that.
Guests are not subject to drug testing. You can ask all you like, they're not going to test you. Perhaps LeanBeefPatty could have Coach Greg as her coach. No, she doesn't like Coach Greg, but would I not make a good coach? Coach Greg, in today's video, LeanBeefPatty responds to my video. In case you don't remember, as this happened a while back, LeanBeefPatty entered a powerlifting competition. She did so as a guest lifter, and so she wasn't actually competing. And in that video, she said she had test voice. Her words, not mine.
My voice sounds like test voice.
She said she was sick, under the weather, and I do believe she had lost 12 pounds. She didn't say what weight class she in. She didn't say how much she weighed, and perhaps that triggers her. She doesn't want to know how much she weighs. But in powerlifting, the winner is determined by how much you lift in comparison to your body weight. And so, yes, there are in fact dangers of competing in powerlifting, bikini competition, bodybuilding, and so on. When you are hyperfixated on your weight, you can in fact change your diet, go through crash diets, starvation diets, and so on in order to lose more weight so that you have a better chance of winning. And so I do appreciate these things. That is why I think that LeanBeefPatty yet again does not say how much she weighs. She entered the competition and she did better than last time. I'm going to go over this in details and address this. Many people are quick to point out that I'm a horrible human being, that I deserve to be bullied by everyone. I mean, after all, I made a video on LeanBeefPatty where I said what she said. And in the end of the video, did you watch my video? I said I do believe she's natural. I still think she's natural, although I don't know why she's hinting that perhaps she's not, despite the fact that she herself said, hey, they didn't drug test me, I'm a guest lifter, and I have test voice. I said I still think she's natural, but no, the shit comments, they come out. The mosquitoes, more mosquitoes than last time, went over some people's head, aka Coach Parrot Greg. I mean, isn't it funny that we can make fun of me? We can make fun of my voice. We can call me a pedo. We can call me a liar. We can say that I deserve to be canceled, and people have tried. Could say all of this stuff because I'm a man. Men deserve to be canceled in 2024. But all I do is report what's going on, and if anything, I give more publicity to people I'm talking about. And so you can hate me for it, but yet again, here I am to address LeanBeefPatty's comments in this video.
I would like to clarify, I made some jokes in that video that just went over some people's heads. That's okay?
Now remember, I'm a 5'6" manlet, a hobbit, if you will, and so all jokes clearly go way over my head. I'm that short. If they took out 4 more inches from me, I'd literally be underground. And so although jokes go over my head, I clearly got it. If you watched my video, you would know that I was joking. And so why is it okay for LeanBeefPatty to make jokes? But when I make jokes, I'm a horrible human being. I'm a misogynist. The guy is just trying to leech off Patty's popularity because he's boring. Yeah, so boring that 920 million views I've gotten on YouTube. And that's just YouTube. Bilibili have over 500,000 followers. The last video I posted yesterday, 840,000 views under a day. I'm actually more popular on Bilibili than I am on YouTube, but oh, I'm boring. Why are you watching my video right now if I'm so boring? At the end of the video, he said he thought she was natty. And so see, people do in fact watch my videos. But he does love that drama and often uses clickbait type titles. Who doesn't use clickbait type titles? If you're not using clickbait titles, are you even posting in 2024? Kind of like if you're not using filters, are you even posting? Yep. But it's also sus that she entered another comp as a guest and doesn't want to give information that the world already has. Remember, I've already watched this video. I'm going to get to that. She doesn't give out any of her personal information. She won't give her name. She won't give her address. She won't give out anything. And so if you're entering in the sports world, you expect preferential treatment. Remember, if I enter a bodybuilding competition, you all know I'm Coach Greg. Can I enter a powerlifting or bodybuilding competition and say, it's Coach Greg? What's your real name? I refuse to give it. What's your address? We need to send you this, send you that. I refuse to give it. What if I ask for car insurance? Yeah, you're not getting my address. You're not getting my name. Do you not know I'm LeanBeefPatty? That is my name. That's what I'm going with. And you don't deserve to know anything. Well, hey, I'd like to open up a bank account. You know, for all that money, the bank that's coming to me, perhaps to deposit the money coming in from gorilla mode. Oh, I don't give that out. I'm LeanBeefPatty. And I'm scared that the world is going to take advantage of me. Well, sometimes we have to give out information. And I know it's hard to trust the government sometimes. I mean, after all, we had that fiasco. We had to wear a Halloween mask at Halloween. Remember what I'm talking about? And so, yeah, I get it that you don't trust people. But you're entering a powerlifting meet. And if they ask you for some personal information like your name, can't you just give it? Do you really going to tell us that there's no way you can give us her name? I mean, think of it. Are you more famous than Brad Pitt? Are you more famous than Angelina Jolie? We know their names. So what makes you so special that you have to bow down and cater your wishes? You're going to enter a powerlifting meet, enter as a guest lifter against people who want to be drug tested, and you're the guest, and you say you have test voice. People are going to be suspicious, especially when you're as strong as you are. And so, yeah, I get it. You want to compete, you want to lift, but if you can't give out the required information, if you can't lift under the same rules, why should they even let you lift?
Anyway, this week, I'm not sick anymore, so I'm feeling a lot better physically.
And so 2 weeks have gone by and she's no longer sick. She's decided to compete yet again. And so she's going to be doing the squat, bench, and deadlift. Not going to go over all of her lifts. We're going to show them briefly, but I can say she set 2 PRs. She lifted phenomenally well. And although she could have lifted even more, especially in the deadlift, she did have an excellent meet.
Unfortunately, I did also show up late to this one, so no real time to warm up.
In the last video, in video number 1, and I haven't watched it in a long time, she forgot to eat breakfast.
First meal of the day. I literally forgot that I didn't eat.
I'm just stating the obvious. She said it in the video. I'm not here to poke fun at her. I'm not saying she has an ED. I'm not saying any of this stuff. She forgot to eat breakfast. Newsflash, you shouldn't forget to eat breakfast when you're competing in a sporting competition. Breakfast is important, perhaps the most important meal of the day. Some of you are going to debate me, argue me, perhaps Greg O'Gallagher, you only need to eat at supper time, a burrito, whatever. But for the most part, you want to eat breakfast when you're competing as a powerlifter. And in her second competition 2 weeks later, she shows up too late to properly warm up. How are we showing up late? Do we not have alarm clocks? It's 2024. We're not LeanBeefPatty. Does she not have 6 million followers on Instagram? Perhaps send a message to some of your followers. Hey, could y'all wake me up at 7 this morning? Could you send me a phone call, a text message, and say, hey, remember to wake up, remember to eat breakfast, and remember to show up on time? Could we, in fact, hire an Uber? You pre-program it. Even I know how to do this. You can get a chauffeur. Yeah, I know. Perhaps you don't want to give out your information. You can't tell them where you live because, well, you're a female and it's 2024 and you choose the bear. Remember, you can in fact ask the chauffeur to perhaps be 6'5" with blue eyes working in finance. Get someone like that to chauffeur you over to the powerlifting meet and get you on time. I don't get it. She could easily get a powerlifting coach. She could have a trainer. Why not maximize these benefits? LeanBeefPatty should be, and if she's not, she's doing something wrong, a multimillionaire. I know you want to think that she's just like you and I, that she's poor, that she's just scraping by. Listen, when you have millions of followers, you're getting millions of dollars. And if you're not, she's doing it all wrong. And so perhaps she doesn't want everyone to know just how amazing her home is, how expensive her car could be, how much money she has invested in the bank. Because trust me, there's no way LeanBeefPatty, who has way more followers than Coach Greg, is poor.
And last warm up I like to do as my opener weight.
And so her last warm up is her opener weight. I disagree with this. You should do a last warm up weight that's lighter than you're lifting in the platform. And why? Well, because when you warm up, you progress towards a heavier and heavier load. If you're lifting the same weight as you're going to lift again, you're repeating the lift, you've already done it, and you have 3 chances to perform. Why are you lifting such a heavy weight in warm up when it's in fact a warm up? We're warming up. You're not supposed to lift as heavy in the warm up as during your actual set. And so although I don't agree with it, I get it. She perhaps wants us to feel the confidence. It felt easy. I got the lift. And so, yeah, I get it. But if you had a powerlifting coach, I most certainly think they could practice you so that you don't lift this way. As you can see, an easy 264 pounds, just as she did in the warm-up room. And so she quite easily could have lifted more than that for warm-up. But why not just lift 250 pounds in the warm-up? Lift 264 on your first attempt. Save your energy. You can lift more than last time. And so if you notice the spotter getting right up in her business, the reason for that is because they don't have the proper safety racks. When you're squatting with this much weight, you shouldn't be dependent on a guy catching you, saving you. What if there were 800 pounds? What if there were 1,000 pounds? There should be a safety rack in place so that if she dumps the weight, she perhaps trips, falls, twists her ankle, that the weight is going to be caught by somebody other than a very large and powerful man ready to save you harder than last time. But yeah, you still choose the bear. I don't think a bear is going to save you if you fall and trip during your squat. And so with her second attempt, 265, successful, she's already outperformed herself in her last meet. And so she's starting her day off with a bang. And 3 for 3, 286 pounds. And so although the spotter looks like a bear, I'm pretty sure he was only after her best interest to save her in case of an emergency. But yet you choose the bear. Bunch of freaking morons. And so she's at the meet lifting with her friends. They're Miss Amigos. But yet she showed up late. Remember I said, why not get your friends to call you, text you, and so on? She literally went to this competition with her friends. It was a local competition. She didn't travel very far. And so I don't know what the excuses are for showing up late. You got to just set the alarm. You need to set 2 alarms, perhaps one on the phone, one on the alarm clock. You wake up on time. Now, I know a lot of people, they're not morning risers. They don't enjoy that. You got to make it work. 165 pounds, attempt 1, perfect. Great selection, attempt 2. 176 pounds, attempt 3, a little bit too heavy, but really, she couldn't have picked better weights. She did her best. Great lifting on the bench press. And so I've freeze framed, and I do in fact know what she weighs. She weighs 58.5 kilograms. And so we do in fact see her weight. It says her name, Patricia Patty. And that is her name. And so when you enter a powerlifting competition, they're going to have your names. It's not about trying to steal your identity or somehow take advantage of you. They're writing your name for whatever reasons. Your name's on the board, your body weight is there, and to be the best lifter, they're going to compare how much you lift with how much you weigh. Now, to compete within your own weight class, you only have to weigh under 60 kilograms. And so she's 1.5 kilograms below that. She could have had breakfast and gained 3.3 pounds and still been in the same weight class. And so what happens is everyone in the 60 kilogram and under division, they compete against each other. And then the champion of that class, they go against the heavier and lighter lifters. There's going to be somebody, for example, might weigh 200 pounds. And what they do is then they compare the weight that you lifted to your body weight. They have a formula, and the highest score wins. As you see freeze frame, you can see the colors in green versus the colors in red. Greens mean you got the lift. Red means you didn't get the lift. And so you have your attempts in, you're going to get the attempts. They have a running score total. And so it's very official. And so at the end of the day, they're going to look at all their scores. What weight did they successfully get on each attempt? And they're going to look at who had the best total. The greatest total wins. Then they'll compare that to their body weights and determine who is the overall best lifter at the meet.
Almost.
Unsuccessful, but it is the most that I've ever done in a meet, but I've gotten 185 before. Not to brag, I've done it. However, not kilos, not very paused, and overall not as quality as would be required.
And so just so you know, whether you lift 185 pounds in pounds or 185 pounds in kilograms, it's exactly the same weight. Whether the plates have kilograms on them or pounds on them, if it adds up to 185, whether it's in kilogram plates or pound plates, whether it's plastic or steel, it's the same weight that you're pressing up. I know it doesn't seem believable, doesn't seem possible, but kilogram plates, they weigh the same as pound plates overall as the weight is total. Now, here's the difference. When she lifted 185 pounds in the gym, she didn't have to pause. When you're in a powerlifting meet, you have to hold the weight on your chest and you can't bounce it off your chest. It can't be touch and go. And so it's a lot harder. You have to lift the weight under control. And so clearly it's much more difficult. And so although you perhaps bench 185 in the gym, when you go to a competition, you're probably going to have to take 10 pounds away from that because you have to pause. Much harder to lift lift a bench pressing competition. And what is my personal best bench? I'm just going to brag right now. I did 529 pounds with a pause in the 198 pound weight class, and that's for 40 plus. I read some comments saying, Coach Greg, you've only ever won local bodybuilding and powerlifting competitions. Everyone claims to be a champion. You're a champion of what? I have the world record for my age group for the bench press and have the world sumo deadlift record in the Guinness Book of World Records. And so, yeah, I suck. I have a mid physique. I'm only a world champion. No big deal. And so when you see me criticizing these lifts and talking about this and you're thinking, he has no right to do this. People are saying, yeah, well, he is a kinesiologist. He does know a thing or two. He can critique. I'm actually a competitive powerlifter with world records. I can watch this and judge. Remember, I used to be a bodybuilding judge, but they didn't like how I was critical of the sport of men's physique and wellness, of saying the muscles are getting too big. We need to change the sport for the better of the athletes. And they cancel them. Remember that? Well, Coach Greg has done a lot. I am, in fact, an expert on a lot of things, and I do believe I have the right to criticize and comment, give feedback as I so see fit. And so LeanBeefPatty weighs about 129 pounds. Remember, she's only about 5 feet tall. I have seen her in person. She's much shorter than you'd expect. Now, for the most part, when people see Coach Greg in person, they think I'm actually taller. Many people think I'm 5'4", 5'5". Remember, I'm exactly 5'6". Sometimes I hide in at 5'6.25". This is not me making up some bullshit. I literally had to get heighted in for classic physique. They have exact weight, height categories that you have to make. And I'm telling you, I was 5'6" or a little bit more than that. And so I don't lie about my height. I don't exaggerate. I know most men who say they're 5'6" or anything around there, they say they're 5'9". I'm 5'6", I'm 5'6". If I was 5'4", I would say I'm 5'4". I don't care. I'm telling you the honest truth. And my weight, I was 181.6 this morning before I took a shit, and I was about 0.4 pounds lighter. Do you need to know anything else? And so in today's deadlift, she learned from her previous experience. And her previous experience, she deadlifted 314 pounds on her final attempt, and it looked easy. It looked like an opener. I was literally saying, she should have started with that. And so what does she do on her second competition 2 weeks later? She opens with her previous best lift in a competition. Excellent choice, and she gets it with ease. I would then go up 10 kilograms. I'd be going for about 336 pounds on my second attempt. Go for a PR, lifetime PR. Let's see her next lift. Up, 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 up! And so she opts to go 5 pounds below a PR. She jumps only 7.5 kilograms. That lift looks so easy. To me, it's a waste of time. Why are we waiting for a third attempt to go for a PR when you clearly can do it on your second? Remember, your grip could slip. You could lock out incorrectly. You could get the down command too late. Anything can happen. And so much better to go for your PR on your second attempt, because who wants to deadlift and only go up by 5 pounds? Really think about when you're in the gym, do you put on 330 pounds, lift that weight, and then go 335, and then go 340? Or does that not tire you out? And so logically, when you're in the deadlift, you're not wanting to waste too much energy. If you lift too close to your max and you only go by 5 pounds, you're probably not going to get that lift. So better to go up to 336. You get that, you don't even need to go for your third. But if it's smooth, you can go up even heavier, perhaps 350.
Come on.
And so she decides to go up 5 more pounds after an easy second attempt. To me, it's not worth it. There's not much point. You've already set a meet PR. You're going up 5 pounds. It's more than you've done in the gym, which is fantastic, but it's just too easy. What's the point? It's 5 more pounds. I would have gone 350. I'm just saying 350, but hey, I would have gone for 336 in my second.
Easy!
And you see the background noise, her friends, coach, friends, whatever. Easy. Did I not say it easy? And so perhaps LeanBeefPatty could have Coach Greg as her coach. No, she doesn't like Coach Greg, but would I not make a good coach? I can literally say what she should be picking for her weights. These are very important numbers. One of the most important things you can do is setting up what numbers they should be going for. And so based on what I saw, I knew she should have lifted more. And so if you are interested in powerlifting, get somebody who knows what they're doing, perhaps somebody who competes, a coach and so on, as it can dramatically improve your performance.
I was once again a guest. Some people were confused on why anyone would enter as a guest.
Okay, and hold on. She's once again a guest. Guests do not get subject to drug testing. Let me just point this out. Guests do not get subject to drug testing. And so whatever she says here, I asked to get drug tested. Guests are not subject to drug testing. You can ask all you like. They're not going to test you. It literally costs money for them to drug test you. Why would they drug test you, spend money on you when you're a guest? You're not even really in the competition. Lifting as a guest means your lifts do not actually count in the competition. Some people did not understand why anyone would do this, which is fair. And so she does point out, hey, remember Coach Greg said, why would she compete as a guest? Why not just enter the competition? She's saying it is a valid argument. I understand why they would think that. I understand why they were questioning that. Because to say, hey, why would anyone question me? I can just do it. That would not be putting yourself in their shoes. And so LeanBeefPatty has put herself in Greg's shoes. She's thinking, okay, Greg is wondering, why would I compete as a guest? Because after all, if you're a guest, you're not subject to drug testing. I did say I have a test voice. And so it makes sense that somebody out there, maybe one person in the world, actually lots, would say, maybe she's on steroids. It's possible. I mean, look at her lifts. They're incredible. She's doing fantastic lifting performance. And so most women who lift these numbers, probably not natural. But does that mean she's not natural? Well, let's listen to her reasoning. Why does she lift as a guest?
Some people were confused on why anyone would enter as a guest. It's because I am extremely paranoid and distrusting of those around me. That's not to be funny, I'm being serious.
And so listen, I'm not going to criticize her. She says she's extremely distrusting and paranoid about people around her. Some people worry a lot. I have friends who are worriers. We say they're worry warts. We have jokes and stuff like this. I'm not trying to make fun of her. Some people are very nervous people. They're very paranoid. They're concerned, sometimes beyond what's normal. There are people that go see counselors. They go see psychologists. They have to deal with certain things they can't handle. Some people are petrified of snakes. Some people are absolutely petrified of a spider, of a little mouse, or have a fear of heights. They're scared to go outside. They have agoraphobia. There are many things that people have out in this world that make them unable to cope and adapt with what we consider to be normal. For me, it would be normal to go and enter a powerlifting competition as a non-guest and be subject to drug testing. But for her, and I do believe her, she's very nervous to the point of she cannot do this. We don't know why. She doesn't state why, but I do in fact believe her. And so don't write in the comment section, you're insensitive, you're a bad person, you're a bully. I get it.
I've been doxxed a few times online, and I don't trust anyone with any bit of personal information.
She absolutely has no trust for anyone with personal information. Some people, we've seen them do this. Do I trust the government? No. If I outwardly voiced my concerns, I would probably be canceled on YouTube. I can't say everything I want to say about my trust in the government.
So that's why I would prefer to enter as a guest in any sort of competition that will be broadcasted anywhere on the internet and just give falsified information rather than risk my life and the lives of those around me.
And so her concern is perhaps they give falsified information about her. Perhaps she doesn't want people to find out where she lives. She perhaps has her own reasons for this. Perhaps she's very scared. These are her own prerogatives. And so she does have a right to lift as a guest. She has the right to not get drug tested if she wants. Now remember, I still think she's natural. And so all the haters can come to her defense and say, I'm an a-hole. All I do is accuse her of being not natty. But have you not heard my current sentence? I personally think she's natural. I've done a natty or not video on her past, and I said I think she's natural. And so although she jokes around and pokes fun herself and makes it look like maybe she's not natural, I mean, she's lifting as a guest, she's not been drug tested. And so how do we know she's natural? I could be proven wrong. Perhaps one day we'll find out what she wasn't natural after all. We don't know. How do we know this? If she's nervous, scared, petrified of having people find out about her name and her address and so on, maybe she's nervous, scared, petrified of people find out that perhaps she took Anavar. We don't know. I personally think she's natural. Is it possible that she's not? Of course it is. I'm telling you I'm on 140 milligrams of test a week, and that's all I'm taking. Is it possible that I'm lying, that I'm on growth hormone test trying and so on? Yeah, of course it's possible. I'm telling you that I'm not. Some people don't believe me. And so you, in the end, you decide what you believe.
And just give falsified information rather than risk my life and the lives of those around me.
And so she prefers to be a guest because she does not want to risk the lives of her and the people around her. Who knows what people have said in the past? Maybe she's gotten threats from people various times in her past, and so she's more hypersensitive to people going after her and so on. I don't know, but I respect her wishes.
I actually asked if I could be tested, because I thought that'd be really awesome to include in the video. They said that they couldn't do that because they only had 6 test kits, and so they needed to use them for the people that were like the top lifters. Also, I wasn't even a top lifter.
And so technically they said they're only using 6 tests. They cost $200 a test, and they're reserving them for the best lifters. Now remember, if it's $200 a test, it means it's not WADA certified. These are very cheap tests. You can actually get away with certain things. And trust me, if WADA has to show up and you have to pay somebody to fly down or attend the event, it's going to be $1,000 plus per test. Very expensive, more inclusive tests. But at some of the lower class powerlifting meets, they don't even test for SARMs. It all depends on which meet you're attending.
So that's just a goal for the future, to be better.
And so her goal for the future is to be better, perhaps win the overall. Remember, that is usually decided by the Wilks formula. It's how much you weigh compared to how much you're lifting. They have a formula for that. And so perhaps one day she'll be able to overcome her fears, enter an actual powerlifting competition, not as a guest lifter, get drug tested, and prove all the haters wrong.
Shout out to powerlifting. This one's a different fed. I don't really know how many there are, but I think there's like 3 or 4 or maybe more.
And so she'd like to shout out to powerlifting. It's a different federation. There's 3 or 4. There's way more than that. Trust me, there's so many powerlifting meets. You perhaps are the champion in this meet. There's another meet. And so really, in the end, doesn't matter. I don't think so. We're lifting against ourselves. If you had a PR in the meet, then that's what it's all about. Let me know in the comment section, did I just shit on Patty? Did I make fun of her the entire time? Or did I just simply make a video reporting what I saw? Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Watch one of those 2 bloops. If you have any interest in any of the supplements that I have, like Turk Builder, which has turkesterone in it, Ecti Builder, various Ecti steroids, GO2 Max for improved cardio, the Seco bars, get to the website, code Greg 15% off for the cookbooks, the Circle Diet book, the training books, coaching plans by me and my team, all that stuff. Get to the website. And if you have no money, free diet and training program, close to 50 pages, join the 300,000 plus newsletter subscribers. And until next time, I am out.